Welcome, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. I am Jared, CEO of FranOps, and I am so pumped about today's interview. Truly, you are in for a treat for a couple of reasons, but we'll get to that in just a second. This is a good week. It's a big week, 4th of July. Normally, you'll notice, those of you who are on here regularly, we usually do these interviews, these live streams on Thursday afternoons, just as a way to kind of almost jumpstart the weekend. I know this is your most favorite moment of the whole week. You wake up Monday, you're like, I can't wait to go live with FranOps on Thursday afternoons. I get that. The blessing for you is it's coming earlier this week. It's coming here Tuesday because of the holiday. Throw in your plans. If you got plans this weekend, put that in the comments. Let's see who's doing what. Are you anybody going boating, out on the beach? You're just smoking some meat, grilling out, hanging out with friends. You're sleeping in, going out, whatever it might be. I want to hear what you're doing. Put that in the comments. Let us know how you're celebrating the holiday this coming weekend. But today is going to be is going to be one of our very best because of number one, the brand that we're unpacking today is called Pink's Window Services, and they are the newest brand to the Resi Brands family. If you are unfamiliar with the Resi Brands, trust me, that won't be for long. Okay, you're going to hear about them real soon because of the exceptional growth and development that they have experienced over just the last couple of years. We actually interviewed about a month or two ago one of the franchisees from one of their other brands, That One Painter, Hunter. That One Painter is actually the fastest growing painting company in the franchising industry. It's insane. I think they have more units now than CertaPro, which is just nuts. Their other brand as well, called Garage Up, is the first of its kind total garage renovation brand, and they're just killing it. The Resi Brands in general, I think they launched January of 2023, and now, right, like a little over a year and a half later, they have well over 400 plus locations, well over 100 employees supporting all their franchisees. I mean, it's just nuts. They have partnerships on different levels with John Maxwell and now with Cody Sanchez. They have endorsements from people like the Shark Tank's Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. It's just crazy all that they've kind of experienced. And today we have the honor of talking about Pink's, their newest franchise in their system. With Pink's, we'll talk a little bit about it, but they have a whole lot of different like cleaning services, not just window cleaning, but they have this really kind of cool, slick looking, nostalgic vibe to them. And they actually have the cool things so far about them is that if you go to Netflix, you need to go watch this movie called Hitman, because in it, there is this like really sweet product placement that Glenn Powell wears. He kind of rocks the Pink's attire. So really sweet. It's also even beyond that, even kind of the cool factor. They have this it's a really low barrier of entry brand. They have a complete full marketing team behind you every step of the way that they coin as Resi Creative. One of my favorite things about them is that they're a complete mission-minded business committed to giving back. And we'll talk a little bit about that, I'm sure, as well. Even beyond all that too, even with all this incredible stuff, you have the potential to produce millions in annual revenue. So I'm really excited to unpack this just a little bit more with you today, because we get the one and only Kevin, I'm going to say this right, Valle. Okay, I mispronounced it yesterday in the group. My apologies for that, my man. But I'm so excited to welcome in Kevin Valle into franchise opportunities for elite entrepreneurs and empire builders, because he, of all the growth of all the franchisees of their entire system, just was named Franchisee of the Year with this brand. And on top of that, he just launched like 3 months ago in Bryan/College Station, Texas. Man, his story is pretty cool. It's pretty unique. I'm excited to unpack it. He was a former pastor. He was a former firefighter. He was a former vet. He was a former everything. And now he's getting into franchise ownership. It's going to be some pretty incredible stuff. It's going to be a great conversation. So without further ado, let's welcome in my man, Kevin.
What's
Kevin,
up,
man.
dude?
How are you, man? Welcome to the greatest group in the entire Facebook metaverse, dude.
Dude, thanks, man. I feel so honored with the welcome. The video, I totally forgot about the hype man. Dude, thanks for throwing that in there, that little trailer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so good, man. And truly, I wish we could spend the whole time just kind of sharing a whole lot of the content that the Pinks team or Resi team has put out there, because it's like it's
Dude,
next level entertaining and just it's high quality stuff, really creative. If you're not, side note, you need to go follow their Instagram. It's like one of my favorite Instagrams to follow. Not even just like in franchising, just in general, one of the best ones out there.
Just pure great content.
Yeah. But you know what? For today's sake, who cares about that? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you, Kevin. We're unpacking your story, man. So I'm really excited to do that. If we could, let's just start there. Kind of share a little bit about your story, who you are, kind of where you came from.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks so much for the opening. Super honored to be here. It's been fun to connect with you. So yeah, as we said, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. You pretty much hit a lot of the high level things I've done the last like 10 years or so. So for people that don't know, Bryan, College Station, we're kind of in the Texas Triangle. So you got Dallas, Austin, Waco, all up north. You got Houston, I guess, to our east, and then San Antonio, the west. So where Texas A&M University is. So I've been here since I was 17 years old. So I graduated high school from San Antonio, moved up here. So I got wised up. I was born in California. We don't have to talk about that.
Oh, really?
Moved to San Antonio, got up here when I was 17. And yeah, man, just started working. So I was a bank teller. I have them on my resume. I was a pizza delivery guy. I mean, I did it all. Shipley's. So did a lot of different jobs. But signed on with the Army National Guard when I was 18. Like literally, that's how I spent my 18th birthday. Was down in Houston, which I look back, I'm like, I wish someone would have told me like that's not the best way to spend your 18th birthday, but I didn't know any different. So we did the Army. I was there for my contract was 6 years, but in that journey, met a guy here in town, Bryan, College Station. He was a fireman for College Station, and he just would tell me about his life. He was running a CrossFit gym, telling me his schedule, and I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Public service seems like the right thing to do or the good thing to do. And so got my EMT license, went and got fire certified, did all that stuff. So like you said, so then I did 5 years with our local fire department in Bryan. So did that. I was a fireman paramedic, which I didn't realize how much medical side there was to it. But man, so Army fire department kind of overlapped. And then what overlapped with fire was I was a college pastor for a couple of years. I think it was about two and a half. Then I got out of firefighting, went full time in ministry with my wife, and that was up until 2023. So essentially, I got married 2018, fire and pastoring, and then once 2023 came, we now had I think like 3 kids. We now have 4. So our kids are all under 4 years old. I guess 4.5 and under. And we can talk about that in a sec. But man, just have a family. So I've been married 6 years, got twin daughters that are 4.5. They're just amazing.
Holy smokes. You guys are busy.
Yeah. We try to be. And all
my wife always says that she says she always kind of wanted twins. I always kind of tell her I don't think you. I'm not sure you actually want. Yes, it is. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get out.
I'll email her later and say, hey, you guys can still keep trying. Honestly, I think that's the thing. Starting out with twins, I think was such a gift because you just don't know. You don't know any better. You don't know what you don't know. And so we had the girls. Was still at the fire department. Had my son. So now my sons are 2.5 and then 7 months as of a couple of days ago. So I got an amazing wife. Her name's Hope. My kids, which are great. But essentially, we always kind of knew once we got married, the entrepreneurial kind of bug started kind of getting my wife.
But there's nothing in that story so far that exudes business ownership or launching something brand new, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I consider myself somewhat of a juggernaut. It's just like, just give me the task and let me just do it. I will say working for the church was helpful. It kind of helped me get vision, look bigger picture. How do you develop people, leadership? Like that role, I'd say out of all my jobs really challenged my idea of like, how do you look bigger? I mean, I remember reading a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. I couldn't tell you who wrote it.
Book.
Phenomenal book.
Right here somewhere.
Yeah. Mine's in the other office. But that book was like, whoa, like how do you'll get this, but like, what are your safety goggles? Like, what's that hurdle,
Yeah.
that obstacle that like unlocks
Mhm.
not just growth, but uniformity, all these things. So, um, as I was working at the church, that really helped me. Like, man, I loved working with people. I loved
Yeah.
collaborating. I loved brainstorming. I loved calling
Mhm.
people up to something more than themselves.
Yep.
Then we started breeding dogs. We don't talk about this a lot. But
Okay.
in 2019, we
Which
had
is a natural transition, right?
yeah. So
Firefighter, you're
yeah, it's like, what do you
fighting the
do?
fires on
You,
earth,
you find,
pastor, fighting the fires of hell.
yeah,
Done
yeah.
with fire, let's go breed dogs. All
Yes,
right.
exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
natural, MBA curriculum there. So started breeding dogs in 2019. And again, I'm very visionary. My wife's kind of the integrator. So God bless her soul. It's like, hey, we should do this thing. She's like, great, how do we do it? I don't know, just like figure it out and we'll like get there.
Love that.
So with all
Love
our
that.
kids, all the expectations she has and things she
Yeah.
does, she just made it happen. So
Yeah.
we started breeding dogs while I'm still firefighting and pasturing, but I could tell things were like shifting in me. So when we got to 2023, I'll just kind of jump ahead. We were still breeding dogs, right, for 4 years at that point. We had done
Okay.
the drop shipping, the e-com. Like my wife again would kind of like, man, like what are other ways that we can just like
Right.
steward what we've been given,
Yeah.
which is our
Mhm.
time and our intellect. And she's just
Yeah.
way smarter than me. She's got a master's degree, an undergrad. I've just been like this blue collar guy my whole life. So again, I think combined together is just such a sweet combo that we could have not foreseen.
Yeah.
So that's been huge. I can't give her and our marriage a credit enough to like challenging me to grow.
Mm.
So we're doing the dogs, we're doing the e-commerce stuff. And again, though, it hit me. I essentially 2023 get kind of an abrupt, like, if I'm going to do business, like in like whatever that means, like if I'm going to
Yeah.
like get into entrepreneurship, it needs to be full-time. Like I was like, essentially need to like burn the ships. Like, what does it look like to just go all in? And I've been kind of using this phrase, like, I think sometimes it's in a negative connotation, like to get tunnel vision. But I purposely was like, last year, I was like, well, what if I just spread myself out thin and just try everything I can and I'll learn what that means. I mean, we could talk a lot about last
Mm.
year, but I did
Yeah.
reselling. I would buy pallets and flip them. I did
Yep.
wholesaling of real estate. I was CrossFit
Gotcha.
coaching. I was doing sales for something. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
just need to figure out what do I want to do? What am I good at?
Yeah.
And anyway, so but I got really fixated on like Cody Sanchez, which is ironic now that she's in with Resi, but she was
Yep.
big on boring business. So I kind of say last year was my MBA track of like, what do I want? What am I trying to do? What am I good at? And there was people like Cody, her content online, this guy, Brian
Yeah.
Beers, who I really came to love, like from franchising. So anyway, last year was kind of the pivotal year of like, if we're going to do entrepreneurship and business,
Okay.
what do I do?
Yeah.
And so again, long, crazy stories. We landed on Pinks.
Yeah. How important was, I mean, when you started looking into franchising, were you looking for the right, like, did you go into it with this mindset of, I want to find, the most popular brand, I want to find the most highest grossing brand?
No.
What were you trying to go, I want to find the perfect fit, or was it just an accident that you came across it? Like,
Yeah.
how did finding Pinks
So
come to
this is
be?
what I'll say. I do believe there's no accidents, right? I generally believe, whether good or bad, there is just divine moments, divine appointments for sure. It can feel like randomness at times, and that's how a
Yeah.
lot of last year felt. Was like, man, I'm just saying yes to the next thing. But I'll tell you, that was my heart. I told my wife, as stressful as it was, she was pregnant with our fourth. We didn't know what we were doing. You need to make money, right? Like you got to provide.
Yeah.
We would Airbnb our house. We had the dogs. Like we were kind of like living on just like the most immediate means that we had. But I just remember saying, okay, if I can just say yes and be obedient to the next thing, like I just believe like there's something, like I kind of called it my feedback loop. It's like, how tight can I get my feedback loop, and what can I learn from this next thing? So nothing felt like a waste. Anything I was doing was like, okay, there's something in here for me to learn. And I really feel like that was getting a lot faster. Whereas like 6 years of the Army, it wasn't until like year 5 that I was like, oh, I think I know why I'm then in this. 2.5 years into the fire department, oh, I think I know why I'm in this beyond just my job. Even pastoring, it was like year 1. I was like, oh, I think I know why I'm in this beyond just a paycheck. And so last year was a lot of like, oh, in the first few weeks to a couple months of doing something was like, oh, I know why I'm here and what skills it's giving me. So no, dude, people would kind of get probably stressed out if they heard how the journey went for us. you hear people say, you don't just say like, I want a new house, and you don't have like a checkbox. You kind of heard that.
Mhm.
It's like when you're
Yeah.
looking for a business, people kind of have that same, oh, just give me whatever. That was me. Like, I was
Okay.
like, I just want, I don't
Yeah.
know, a job. I want a paycheck. I want
Okay.
ownership.
Gotcha.
I want
Yeah, which
cash flow.
I think is good to note, because there are a number of different franchises that offer different models of ownership,
Yep.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think the Pinks, it sounds like what you got into was kind of the what we call owner operator, where
Yep.
this is a full time, this is your thing, right?
Yeah.
There's brands out there that offer more of a absentee, or they want you to be absentee, or
Yeah.
forget that language, you're the executive over it, you know?
Yeah. Right.
And so there's different models based on
Yeah.
what someone might be looking for, which is why that kind of that franchise fit, finding the right fit,
Yeah.
is so crucial to someone's journey into finding success in business ownership. So for you, what was it about Pinks? What was it about Pinks that was like, this is the right one?
So the shout out there, there's this guy, his name's Coleman. I won't say his last name because people will probably hit him up, but I hired a broker in July last year. And
Is it PV? Because he just commented in the comments.
yeah. It's the old PV. So essentially, my broker said, hey, post in this Facebook group, which I literally made a Facebook for this. We could get into that. But
yeah,
honestly, that was like, it felt like the worst decision ever, right? We talk about random. I hated that. I posted in there looking for a business for sale in Central Texas. That's what I posted.
Yeah.
I get my inbox is getting full. I'm going through these calls from June, July, August, September. People are like, oh, we'll give you this business. We'll help you start this thing.
Sure.
And I'm fielding all these calls and getting essentially more and more hopeless of like, what am I doing? This broker was like, dude, you need to get laser focused on what you want. And I'm like, no, that's why I have you, is to help me figure out what I want. But man, long story short, Coleman was one of these like 42 comments on a Facebook group. I hit him up on Messenger, and I'm like, hey, you posted, you're like one of 40. Just tell me what you got. And what I liked about his question was like, what industry are you interested in? Which was pretty different than everyone else that had commented. Everyone else was just kind of like, let me tell you why you should give me $200K to do whatever. Right. And so this is now September, I think. He posts on the thing. We have a quick call, and he's like, hey, let's call tomorrow. And I find out he's a fireman because he was at the station. So right there, I was like, okay, there's already some rapport here. You're a firefighter in Austin. I was a firefighter for Brian. So kind of like our rapport really grew there. And the dude, if you've never met him, just a solid guy. He wasn't scammy or spammy feeling, he's just like, hey, we have this thing. And he sends me the link on Messenger. It was Pink's website. So that's in September of 2023 is when I see the website. And again, if anyone else has seen it, you're like, okay, this is like different. Yeah. So again, you have to put yourself in my shoes. I'm about to have my fourth kid. Still don't really have a job. Still trying to figure it out. And essentially, he invites us to come down in October to this discovery day. And it's where you just learn about Resi, you learn about the team. And so I tell my wife, I say, well, hey, our kid's born in November. This is in October. Your birthday's in October. Let's just do like a baby moon. I literally was like, if nothing else, he's going to put us up in a hotel for 2 days. I don't know if he'll do that anymore for people, but he did then.
I love that.
Great salesman.
Have you told him that that's like why you accepted?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. We talk about this now. I'm like, dude,
he knows now.
I couldn't give a rip what you were trying to sell, but you're going to give me 2 nights in a hotel for my pregnant wife and I, like totally. That's awesome. So essentially that's how I viewed it. It was like, Austin's down the road. We have friends in Austin. Let's go put ourselves up in a hotel for a couple of days free. But man, we walk in to Discovery Day for that day. And it's funny. We laugh now. My wife, I remember we go back to the hotel and she's like, man, you didn't seem like you were that excited. And I was like, well, I don't want to act like, I don't want them to know. I don't want them to know I'm excited.
Gotta play hard to get.
Yeah. Right. Cause that's like the business thing to do, which I'm like, whatever. But man, I just fell in love. And like, like what I mean is like, I fell in love with the people. And I started learning how many degrees, this might be unique for us. I don't know, but I put a lot of stake in just rapport and like familiarity, and it is helpful. There was like a lot of degrees of nearness. So like some of our friends from high school went to high school with the founder, Carter Smith. Like one of our old worship pastors was one of the first franchisees of T1P and sang at, one of the Resi Brands employees engagement party. It was just like, okay.
Yeah. So you just had all these like random connections.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Which again, to me, not random, but I'm like, this feels like I couldn't get with any more people that I feel more connected with and I've
Yeah.
never met him in my life. So
Yeah, but
that
what's cool about
weekend
what I'm hearing
felt
you
cool.
say is not, you haven't said anything about the financial markers,
No,
what people are potentially making, the
I had
territories,
I
and
had
their
no pro
spacing, the
forma. I
sizing.
couldn't have told you anything
You
about
didn't
those.
say any of that. You're talking
Yeah.
about the people.
Yeah.
And I love that, man. That's so, and that seems to be the case with the any really Resi brand individual I've had a conversation with is the culture that they have created, which Pink's is such a big part of,
Yeah.
is it's about people, not even first, but people really only.
Yeah. No.
You
And
know?
we'll get to it, and that has a direct correlation with the actual business operational side. And I know
Yeah.
we'll talk about with other questions, but yeah,
Yeah.
for me, man, it was Brandon and Carter were genuine in
Mhm.
from the first call to in person to I can say now 6 months later, I'm like, dude, the guys I met on the intro call are the same guys that I get to connect with now. Not just because I, paid some fee. They really take a specific, like, and that's why when people are like, oh, do you love franchising? I'm kind of careful to be like, well, I can't speak for the franchise model nationwide.
Mhm.
I can speak to now
Your experience.
Resi and my experience with Pink
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
And even at our last annual conference that I got to go to last month, I got
Yeah.
to tell Stephen Montgomery, I was like, dude, I didn't really have anything good or bad to say about you because I just didn't know you. Whereas I've
Mhm.
only harped on how great Brandon and Carter are. Well, now
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, Steven, you're legit. Like, I like you. I can speak highly of
Yeah.
you because we got to have more of a personal connect at our conference. So,
And mention, I'm not sure for those viewers who don't know who that is.
oh
Mention
yes,
who you're talking about.
yeah. So Stephen Montgomery is the founder and CEO of Resi Brand. So I know it gets kind of confusing, but
Yeah.
Resi Brand is the one that partners with Garage
Yeah.
Up, P1P, and us, Pinks. But yeah, so at the conference, I was like, hey, this may not mean anything to you, Stephen, but I'm like, I'm one of 400 franchisees, but it's been helpful for me and my family to say, hey, like, there's some trust here as well.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't know him when we got in. So Discovery Day was huge. I put a lot of stake in people, which
Mhm.
again, people could say, oh, that's foolish or whatever. But that's kind of how I've been living my life is, well, it may be foolish to man, but am I honoring the Lord in what
Yeah.
I'm doing? And we felt like we were. So it was a big prayer
Love
move for
that.
us too. So that's kind of how we got into it. And
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
much in a
I want to
nutshell.
show, actually I have a video, just kind of a highlight. It shows the humor and the creativity of the Pinks team,
Oh,
but
yeah,
also
great.
kind of just that announcement of how they're kind of one of the newer brands of Resi
Okay.
Brands as well. And then I want to come back. I want to ask about, how did you become the franchisee of the year? What was that? Why you out of
Yeah,
everybody?
yeah.
Why were you selected? So check this out.
It's so good.
So good. It's so creative, man. I don't know whose home that is, if that's yours or Cody Sanchez's or who. But that's an incredible place,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We'll keep
But
that. We'll keep that unspoken. Yeah.
there you go. So
No,
good. So
it's
yeah,
true, man.
tell me about it, man. How did you get the honor of being selected as franchisee of the year for Pinks?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first off, I had to do a subtle, dude. Check this out. Look at
Woo,
that.
buddy, look at
Yeah, it's pretty
that,
sweet,
man.
huh? I mean,
That is, oh, I
like,
like
I was gonna say I
framed
can't
it
take
off
credit
too.
for it, but I'm like, I guess I can.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Man,
love
no,
it,
again,
man.
that was
So good.
such a humbling and
Yeah.
honoring award to get. Like I said,
Mhm.
some people are like, "Well, you guys haven't even been around for a year," and it's true. But Brandon Carter, I just really believe they shared a little speech when they give out other awards, and for them, it was, if I could sum it up again, trying to use their words. Yeah, we have different KPIs and metrics that we get measured, right? We have these calls every week, and it's great. There's
Yep.
kind of this competitiveness, not so much like rivals, but it's like, hey, how do we all spur each other on for growth, which is what we want.
Okay.
So there were metrics that were definitely involved, but I think for
Mhm.
them, at least in the beginning, for phases, right? I'm sure this will continue to evolve and grow out. I think they really just believe that I've been such a great fit as kind of like an ambassador of an extension of them, right? You have to think this is
Mhm.
this is their baby. This is what
Right.
they, all of it. I can't take credit for any of the merch, right? I can't take
Mhm.
credit for
Right.
even the playbook, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think they just really felt like, hey, Kevin, even in a really small town, is keeping up with these metrics and
Yeah.
excelling and growing at a rapid rate. But
Mhm.
also is a great representative ambassador of the brand. And so, man, it was super humbling, and I was honored to have it. Whether it's the only one I get, I'll take it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there'll be a lot of people after me that'll have way more expertise and way more
Yeah.
probably business savviness than me. But it was fun to get the first one for sure.
Yeah. That's so good. You've only been doing this 3 months, right? Which is pretty incredible. But
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about 4 months? Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the support that Pink's has given you as a newer franchisee?
Yeah. Man, it's been great, honestly. Like, again, I feel like when I got in November, just like with the process, there's
Mhm.
kind of this like 90-day window, right? That you got to get a van and the uniforms and hire the right people and go through the trainings and stuff. And so in even those 90 days that I was involved up until the beginning of the year, I could tell there was a lot of growth happening.
Okay.
So on the front end, it was like kind of chaotic and hard to like navigate. Hey, this guy's new. I'm the second franchise launched, right? So it was like there were still a lot of systems that were unknown.
Yeah.
What I'm
Right.
encouraged with is since my time getting in and now having been launched in February,
Mhm.
man, we've only like the support has only grown. I'm not just like
Mhm.
saying that. Like we're seeing people getting put in the right seats. It's not just Brandon Carter. They have a team now through Resi that are
Mhm.
like Pink's focus. So whether that's our marketing director, our operations person, like Brandon and Carter, I mean, they're like, there's a team now that's really servicing us as franchisees. We have
Yeah.
calls every week. Every Wednesday, we get calls with all our franchisees. And,
Yeah.
it's just, so there's like a constant check in, there's constant challenges. But even one guy from Austin, our franchise business coach, came in town, and like rode
Mhm.
around with me yesterday, helped sell yesterday. So, like, there are things that, again, I don't know if that's normal for franchising,
Yeah.
but from the franchisor side, I'm like, man, they've been like incredible. Like, if I have questions, right, we could send them in the chat. I mean, there's just people you can really connect with. And that's
Yeah.
not even talking about my peers, right? There's like
Mm.
my constituents that were like, hey, you're in a different market. How are things going over there? How do we grow off each other? So
Right.
I do love when they say in franchising, at least for us, you're not just in business for yourself. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. I've definitely experienced that. I don't feel alone at all and trying to get this thing going. So support's
Yeah.
been great. I love it.
Yeah. So good, man. What have you had any have you found as a business owner now any
Mhm.
specific mindsets or skill sets that have become invaluable to you that either you've held for a long time or you've recently learned, whether professionally, personally, you know,
Mm.
in ownership?
Yeah. Man, I feel like there is a lot. But to kind of go on a similar thread that we mentioned earlier, just with Resi and like focusing on the people. Um, that is something I've been learning is that I'm not just like in the window cleaning business. Like I'm not just in the home service
Yeah.
industry. Like
Yeah.
if we're talking about customers at least and my employees, like, man, I'm in the people business. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing hard work. My guys
Mhm.
are doing hard work. I mean, I'm selling and estimating, but like, I mean, they're out there right now, like cleaning windows, pressure washing, like doing
Yeah.
hard blue collar work.
Yeah.
And there was John Maxwell had said a quote at our conference where he was like, man, your customers will pay a premium, like will pay more for a premium service, and your employees would be willing to get paid less for a high morale premium culture. And I feel like I've been
That's so
blessed to
true.
see that is like, man, if I can take care of my guys, just like Brandon Carter have, whether it's buying their lunches every day,
Yeah.
whether it's giving them, the uniform or the hats and the merch and like looking beyond just the
Yeah.
transaction of work
Yeah.
harder, do better, but saying, man,
Yeah.
how do I invest in these guys? Every Monday we go to Rudy's and get breakfast and just, hey, how was your weekend? Like really
That's cool.
building an
Yeah.
awesome culture for these guys and for
Yeah.
myself as a new owner. So learning that
That's
I'm in the people business has been invaluable. It feels like because
yeah.
people just want to feel taken care of,
Yeah,
and
that's
then you're
huge.
like,
And it goes back to the significance of culture in franchising. A lot of people I talk to on the very initial conversation, they'll come to me and they'll say, "Hey, what brands do you have?" And what they want is a name. They want a name that they're going to recognize, something that already has that kind of that national or even international spread. Yeah. And it's like, that's the wrong approach to take with this. I mean, the brand name matters. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
But far more than the brand name is your franchise fit. Does it fit you? Are you interested in it? Do you will this work for you? Or will you be passionate about this? And then also, even right up there with it, is culture. Do you fit the culture of this? Are you interested in continuing on the culture that's been created here? And that's just so vital. So it's cool to hear that you're kind of finding that where you're at.
And just maybe for the record, I'm like, if someone's hearing this, like, no, I didn't. You heard a little bit now in my life, but like, I didn't envision and dream and fantasize of being a window cleaner. Like I don't. Yeah,
you may have envisioned going to work by being able to show some chest hair, but not necessarily
that for sure. Right? Yeah, I try to get it a little bit more appropriate. I usually go another one down, but
nah, dude, come on, go for it.
Family chat,
loud and proud family show.
But yeah, like just to share with anyone that's like, I think there's a whole like, well, do something that you're super passionate about, and I'm like, well, but take the window cleaning out of it. What am I passionate about? Servicing people, bringing value and pride to people's homes and businesses.
There you go.
And leaving a good taste in their mouth. It's like flipping the script on blue collar, different things like that. I can now regurgitate the things that we say, but then people are like, man, you must really love window cleaning. I'm like, no, I really love serving people. That's for me what I get to do. And whether that's my employee or clients, whatever. That's been fun.
That's so good. Yeah, man. How has becoming a franchisee, how has it changed you and your family's lives? How has it changed your family's dynamic? Anything come to mind there?
Yeah.
Or has it yet? You're only 4 months in, so maybe it hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yeah, I believe it will only change more, or even, I guess, better. It'll get better. But no, it's been awesome to know, like, the buck stops with me, right? So that is like a healthy pressure for me to like, hey, am I going to get out there? Am I going to sell? Am I going to do my KPIs? Like, you got to be self-motivated to do those things. And so having that kind of pressure has been really good for me and growing for me. But no, it is nice to like, if I need to take my kids to school, like, oh, am I going to permit myself to do that? Yes. Am I going to, go have lunch with some guys or go to a networking thing? Like, there is already this natural flexibility that I might have had last year because we didn't really have much going on. So there's a uniqueness there, but I've worked other jobs. Like, hey, when I was on shift at the fire department, if you get held for overtime, you're over for another 48 hours. Like, that's a bummer, like I'm serving the community, but I'm stuck here. So there's really not, this is my first go at like a 9 to 5. And I say that loosely, and so that's been something that's been really sweet is if my kids want to stay, if I want to stay home in the morning to see them, if I want to come home early, like there is flexibility for me. It just means I need to grind maybe the last 2 hours of the day before, but it gives you those opportunities that I normally just wouldn't have. I mean, I know work balance culture is changing in certain industries, but that's something I've already gone to seeing and that my wife and I love. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's so good. What's next for you? What are some of the goals, plans for the future, whether it be this next year or 5 years, or even 10 years? What's the game plan moving forward?
Yeah, it's a great question. One, stay in business, right?
Okay.
Check. You hear all these, you just hear crazy stats where people are like, man, it's 3, 6, 9, 12 months, 18 months. Like, I don't want to act like, just because I have some random plaque or just because I got on a sweet podcast, like that my business will only grow. Like, I want to put the effort it's going to require. So it's stay in business. But really for me, I'll say leaving our annual conference was good for me to kind of pick my head up and saying that I'm not just in the window cleaning business, right? I said the people business, but I'm also not just in the window cleaning business. I'm in the franchising business. That was kind of a light bulb for me to go, okay, I'm not just trying to be the number one window cleaner in Bryan College Station. What does it look like to be the number one operator in Pinks, or whatever it might be. So those have been some kind of, again, evolving thoughts. So I don't want to speak too soon, but I have dreams and goals, right? I'm a visionary at heart. And so there's maybe other territories I'm interested in. There's, Resi is getting a lot of eyeballs right now, which is great from a growth standpoint. So anyway, there's definitely areas that I'm ready to start looking into. While maintaining that the growth here and the stability gets created in this market. But we definitely have some conversations rolling though. Maybe we'll stay tuned for the next time.
Yeah, there you go. So good. And this has been awesome for those that are watching right now, or even at a later time that are curious about franchise ownership. They heard an interview with the franchisee of the year. They want to learn about his success. They want to learn about what got him into why he chose the brand that he did. And they've sat on these calls multiple times before, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
They're watching. They've thought about getting into business ownership via franchising, and yet never pulled the trigger for one reason or another. What is like one final piece of advice or encouragement you would offer to them?
Yeah. So, man, it's such a broad thing, but the thing that comes to mind, and on again, kind of with that tunnel vision thing, it can kind of have a negative connotation.
Okay.
Whereas I'm viewing it as positively, like, how do I get so focused on something to do really well? If that's how I spend, if my 20s was public service, what does the 30s look like? Right. And learning customer service, learning value of people, learning the marketplace. I would say, there's this phrase I heard that your gut experience, or like your gut feeling, is like the sum of your experiences, like the total. And so I'd say, like, man, it's okay to kind of trust your gut. Like when you're having the call, when you're having the discovery, when you're having like, I'm such a collaborator. I'm such an external processor to a fault.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, sometimes I think it is good to kind of take a little risk, but be, mindful and prudent of it could take a lot of work and a lot of time. But being okay with saying, like, man, if it feels good in your gut, there's probably because you have some experiences backing that. It's not just this like feeling, what do they call it? Like your feelings on your sleeves or whatever. So that's one thing I would encourage anybody, is if you're looking at things or having the conversations, like, be okay, trust your gut a little bit. Yes, do your due diligence way better than I did. I mean, I made it easy for Coleman. I just, his, like, him being a Fran rep or whatever, I'm like, I could not have made that any easier for him. So don't be like me. But hopefully people can learn from my brazen go, and hopefully it only continues to prove proof in the pudding, I guess.
Oh, that's so good, man. Dude, this has been awesome. Truly, I've really enjoyed getting to know you and hanging out with you a little bit today and sharing some of your story and just hearing about Pinks as well and Resi Brands and all that kind of good stuff, man. And before we wrap up today too, I actually have one video that kind of highlights Resi Brands. Because I know we've kind of talked about them a little bit too, and some of the listeners here, either now or later, I have no idea what that is yet, and so kind of show a little bit who they are. Now, the video doesn't actually talk about Pinks at all; it's just their other two, That One Painter and Garage Up. But more so, it still just talks about the Resi brand family as a whole and some of the benefits that come with franchising inside of a Resi brand opportunity. And so pretty incredible. Had a couple really important questions come in. Okay.
Great.
So I'm going to throw these past you. They're going to be hard. So just be ready to go.
All right.
Okay?
I'm ready. I'm buckled up.
When you used to deliver pizza, was it Domino's or Pizza Hut?
Dude, neither. Dude, it was Hungry Howie's. Dude,
Hungry Howie's.
Yeah,
that must be a Texas
you don't
thing.
even. It's a Bryan College Station thing. That's a super important question.
That's great. It really is. Well, this one is actually, I saved this one for last because it's far more important.
Okay.
If you had to pick who is your absolute most favorite That One Painter franchisee.
Oh, Hunter, dude, all the way.
Hunter, okay. All right. Did not see that coming. That's great, dude.
Yeah.
So good, man. You guys are a blast. You guys in the comments are a blast. So funny. But guys, everyone who's watching now or later, if you're hearing this and you're like, man, I want to get started, have a conversation. You heard Kevin talk about talking to a consultant, working with a rep, finding someone that is in the industry that knows what they're doing, that can help you find the right fit, the right culture for you. Not just the name, not just something that screams that you could make a lot of money, but something that is going to be the right fit for you, for your future. This is a huge decision. And so if that's you, that's the case right now, I'm dropping in the comments a link to book just a short phone call where you and I can hop on a phone and kind of start the process. I can unpack a little bit with you and kind of say, hey, here's where we need to start if this is something you want to seriously look into for your future. So what I do, I'd be more than happy to help you out along the way. Until then, Kevin, man, I appreciate you so much, brother, for your time, stepping away from work, from the business you're building, stepping away from your family with all the kids under 4, stepping away from everything, man, just to give a little bit of time to hang out and be on this show. So seriously, thank you again so much for your time, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Gotcha. All right, check out this video about Resi Brands, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks.
Here at Resi Brands, we help entrepreneurs build legacy businesses in the home service space. At Resi Creative, everything is in-house. We believe that the more responsibility we have, the better we can serve our franchisees directly. Resi Brands is the entrepreneurial mastermind behind the world's best home service brands. We want to develop brands that make our franchisees successful and make our customers happy. We are experts in franchise development and brand creation. At Resi Brands, we create, we connect, and we inspire. With Resi Brands, you get a full in-house support and coaching team to help you out on a day-to-day and even week-to-week basis. You also get a full in-house marketing team covering everything from content and social media all the way to ad management. In addition, we also have an in-house scheduling team through Resi Connect. Resi Brands all began with That One Painter, which launched in June of 2021, and in only 18 months grew to 53 territories. We believe in giving back, and through That One Painter, we have our Paint It Forward program, which gives back both locally and globally. Locally, we paint a house every year for a family in need in each of our locations. And globally, we give back through our nonprofit. Garage Up is our newest brand here at Resi Brands. Garage Up is the nation's first total garage renovation franchise, with everything from garage doors, epoxy floors, shelving, and a whole lot more. And just like That One Painter, Garage Up has an Elevate program where we're going to locally support families with garage repairs and a new garage door. With all of our Resi Brands, we want to make sure to say thank you to each of the communities that we service and help those in need. When you purchase a franchise with Resi Brands, you don't just purchase an emblem or buy into a brand. You join a community of franchisees and a full business support system that is here to uplift and support you and your success with Resi.